Hey guys, episode 7 of our Let's Play series for Football Manager 2016. We are playing with Ajax today, and we're getting a fair way through. We're getting into the start of the season, I guess up to 30th of September. Played a bunch of games here, which you can see, so I'm just going to run through. So we've done pretty well in the most part. Champions League, we've made it through the Champions League qualifiers and the playoff. Had a good win over 2 legs against Monaco, which was good. Eredivisie, we're doing pretty well, actually sitting top of the table. We did have a few disappointing losses and draws in a bit of a period there, but we're doing okay. And yeah, had a 2-2 draw with Dynamo Kiev in our first game. We're just about to play our first away game in the Champions League against Real Madrid, so could be a bit of a slaughter. I'm not too confident about how we're going to go, but it's just one of those games we have to play. Pitch is all good, so I've actually got most of their players back in, actually, which is a little bit disappointing. So obviously a very strong team. Playing a 4-2-3-1, which is pretty stock standard for Madrid, so when's our next game after this one? So we've got that one against there, and then PSV in 4 days, so not really all that long. I'm actually thinking about playing a weakened team. We're not going to get anything out of this game anyway. We just got to be realistic. Like, we're not going to beat Real Madrid on their home turf. I think I'm going to give our guys a rest on the Friday. I'm not sure whether it's me or whether it's I'm training them a little bit too much, but conditioning seems to not recover quite as quickly. Our guys seem to need a little bit more rest than what they normally do in this version, so I'm not sure if that's changed or if it's just me. But I'm doing sort of what I've done before, and I've never really had problems with the conditioning before, so it could be... I know there were sort of a few training changes here and there, injuries and all that kind of stuff, so maybe that had an impact. Anyway, we'll deal with that. So yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to field a bit of a weakened team, maybe give some of our second string guys a go. I'm going to leave Kenny T out, even though he is wanting game time. He's got a fair bit of game time anyway, so he'll definitely start the game against PSV. He's actually been our best performing right back. He's actually been performing better than Van Rijn, so that is a good thing for him. So he's going to be a very good player. He's doing another star of development, only 19. He's got some really good stats in there as well. Awesome. Actually, after this Real Madrid game as well, we're actually going to jump in and do tutoring. I'm going to set up all of our tutoring for our entire club. Probably should have done it a little bit earlier, but I didn't want to wait until the transfer window finished or closed. Just make sure we didn't get any new players in or any youngsters in and stuff. So that's why I waited. I'm going to put... Where are we? I think what I'm going to do... I'm going to put... give Bazaware Richardly another game at defensive mid. I'm going to put, who are we going to put in? Serrero in the box-to-box. I'm going to put, I'm going to give Sincraven another game at central mid attack. I think I'm going to leave El Ghazi in, and I'm going to put Yunus on the left. And, how about Milik? Maybe what I'm going to do, I'm going to put El Ghazi as our striker, and Nuri out on the right. So he's actually fully up, 98% condition, so he's ready and raring to go. Bazaware's down to 91, but that's okay. Probably give some of a couple of our defenders a rest as well. So Dykes is actually our best left back at the moment. Although if we look at the recent race, the last 5 games, Boylison's actually been playing really well, 8.8, and Dykes is not playing as well. So maybe we'll give Boylison another game. He actually does have not better conditioning, but. No, I'll put Dykes in, and then because Boylison's been playing the best, so we'll save him for the PSV game, which is sort of our priority at the moment. Riedewald's going to play in place of Heitinger, and I think Vergeva's probably going to give it a go at give Veltman a rest as well. Alrighty guys, that's a bit of a rotated team. Most of our sort of best players and stuff are going to have a bit of a rest, which should work out well. Alrighty, so Van Rijn's going to be captain. Yeah, it's fine. I think I'm going to pause the video, and as usual, we'll sort of jump back into it once anything interesting happens. Alrighty guys, half time. We are getting absolutely battered, but we're still 0-0, so that's all that really matters. Going to have a quick look at the stats here. We're actually having possession, which is probably what saved us so far in the game. We haven't had a single shot on target. Real Madrid's only had 4 though, to be fair. We actually have defended really quite well. They've had a couple of decent chances, but nothing too really outstanding. So having the lion's share of possession is really helping us. It means that obviously, if we've got the ball, they can't actually attack us. So that is being really good. So I'm actually pretty happy with how we're going. If we can actually maintain this, I'm not 100% confident we're going to be able to. But if we can, I'm going to be very happy to actually get a draw from this game if we can. So I'll see you at the end of the game. Oh my god, would you believe it? A 2-1 victory against Real Madrid. Oh, dear me, what a game. We played amazingly well in that second half. They had that many shots and that many shots on target and stuff, but we kept them out. We only had 3 shots on target in the whole game. They had 11. Look at the clear-cut chances, though. We actually didn't have any clear-cut or any half chances, so we did ride our luck. They only had 1 of each, though, and we actually did dominate possession here, 58% of possession, so... I actually switched to our second tactic in this tactic here, our... I suppose you want to call it a 5-2-3, and that sort of helped out a lot. It just made we actually going a little bit more attacking actually worked to our benefit, because we pushed up a little bit further up the pitch, and having our 2 wing backs up the pitch actually sort of pushed their fullbacks and stuff, or their wingers actually made their wingers a little bit more accountable. And obviously because Ronaldo and even Bale actually don't defend that well, and they were sort of their 2 attacking midfielder. Or wide attacking midfield players, actually meant that that they didn't, we were actually sort of basically able to maintain possession a bit more, and also counter-attack them quite a bit more. So they actually scored a goal in like the first minute of the second half, and then Yunus scored the first goal, and then El Ghazi scored a late goal to actually get the victory for us. So we're going to, if I can, can I see? Oh, here we go. You can see this highlights here. So I'm going to jump into the goals. Turn the speed down. There we go. And sounds there as well. So, alrighty. So, this is the first goal. First minute of the second half, as we can see here. Bale brings it forward, takes a shot, and then Ronaldo on the rebound. So, it was sort of lucky from them. They just got the rebound, but Ronaldo was just, absolute beast that he is, just absolutely tucked that way on the volley. So, that was a very, very good goal. Absolutely nothing that Silerson or really any of our other players could do about that. So, which was good. So I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit, guys. Here we go. So this was a good actually spell of possession that we had. Shows we won the ball back. Van Rijn won the ball back. And then, we just maintained possession here. They didn't really press us as much as probably what they should have. They were a little bit lax. They sort of gave us some time on the ball. As we can see here, we had a lot of time to actually sort of, they were sort of standing off us, which was a little bit surprising for Real Madrid. So here, like all game, we sort of had a lot of time on the ball. With brilliant pass there by Serrero to open up the pitch for Dykes, and then Yunus just tucked it away. So some really good individual play from Serrero and Dykes there. So that pass, I'm going to wind that back a little bit. You can see where I am. There we are. Here we are. It's almost coming up here, isn't it? Yeah, so this pass from Serrero was absolutely brilliant. Top-notch pass from him. So got Yunus there. Passes it back out again. And there we go. And just see this pass here. I mean, you can see Dykes here, which is good. So it's actually a really big error from Bale there. So this is what I mean. Having our guys pushed up the pitch a little bit more meant their sort of wingers, you can see Ronaldo and Bale, they left our fullbacks or our wingbacks vacant like this all game. So that was a specific strategy actually I decided after looking at a bit of the analysis in the first half and sort of thinking about Real Madrid. And obviously this is probably their weaknesses. They're attacking midfielders. In terms of like defensively, that's probably their weakness. Obviously from attacking sense, that's one of their strengths. But from defensively, they left our wingbacks open, for all this basically the second half. And having our guys push up a little bit further meant that that's what happened. So look at that for a pass. That was brilliant through to Dykes. Dykes had great presence of mind. He tracted both their centre halves here. And then, Yunus just took up a really good spot and just tucked it away. That was a really, really good goal. Very, very pleased with that. That was absolutely top notch. And this is our winning goal here. So in the 84th minute. And see there. Serrero brings out. So we won the ball back, which was really, really good. And that was actually Van Rijn again. So Van Rijn had a very good game actually. He jumping into his ratings here. Where is he? Yeah, it's a 7.1, which obviously not amazing. So ratings aren't everything, but I was very, very impressed in how he played. So probably his best game he's played for us this season. So you see here, Klaassen was brought on as a sub in the second half, just because Sint-Graven was getting quite tired and stuff. Van Rijn there, and you can see this is what I meant. This is another sort of situation here that. Basically 2-on-1 out on this right hand side. So this is Marcelo, obviously their left back, and we've got our 2 right players here, our wing back in Van Rijn and our attacking midfielder right in Nauri there, and basically doubled up. And look at this, they can just play him around him because Ronaldo just didn't defend. And there we go, El Ghazi slipped the ball through to him and brilliant finish from him. So that was really, really pleasing. So probably the defining feature of the game was the formation change, and Real Madrid actually didn't adapt to that. They played their same formation the entire game, as we can see here. They just didn't sort of really adapt to that. And Ronaldo, like in real life, I guess, it's really quite interesting that, that he's obviously a brilliant attacking force, and it's always sort of been the debate for quite a while about whether his attacking exploits actually make up for his defensive lapses, and whether it's actually best for Real Madrid as a whole, or all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I was really, really pleased. That it was a very good victory, very unexpected. I was expecting us to get absolutely slaughtered, and in a way we did. They obviously had a lot more shots and stuff than us, but we actually defended really, really well. And like I said, once we changed our formation, they didn't react to it. And we got the so you actually see player of the match Ronaldo, even though I think he was actually probably the reason that they lost. We actually dominated down that right hand side, so very, very pleased with that. Claessen's out for 7 to 9 days. That's okay, it's not too bad. We've got £1.7 million from the victory, which is awesome. So that was really, really good. Very happy. Alright guys, I think I'm going to jump ahead to the PSV game. That's going to be quite a big game for us. Obviously PSV is probably going to be our biggest competition. They are second at the moment, only a couple of points behind us. So we're back in a tick, and I'll show you how to line up for the PSV game. Alright guys, and we're back. So it's game day with PSV. A couple of things that I've done in the last few days. I've dropped our match training back to 20% down here, so the second notch here, and I also ticked allow rest after match. I'm going to leave our main focus on teamwork here, and ball control. Ball control is going to be our sort of general training focus there. Overall workload is still medium. It seems to be working okay. We could bump it up to heavy, but we're still having a few problems with conditioning. So as we can see here, conditioning for like a lot of our sort of starters and stuff is still going to be a little bit low for this PSV game. So I'm definitely thinking there's probably been a bit of a change. There's probably been a bit of a change between 2016. Maybe our guys need a little bit more rest, or maybe you can't train them quite as hard as what you used to be able to. I'll see what impact this match training has, actually dropping that back down. Generally, it's sort of 10 or 20% is usually what I have it. I'll leave it 20 for the moment, and we'll see if we can drop back to 10% of the training there. We'll see how that goes, and we can always change that, so that's good. What else have I done? That's training there. I had our first guy complete our language course. Here we go. Joe McLaughlin has completed his intensive language course, which was good. So jump into his information here as nationality. So actually see here his Dutch is now good, so I can actually speak Dutch. So I'm assuming this is just basically going to make him more effective at his job. So he's a scout. It probably has more of a bit, I guess, of an impact for coaches in terms of getting their message across. So it'd be interesting to see sort of what impact it does have in terms of actually whether it impacts star ratings or anything like that. I'm not really quite sure. We'll sort of see once a few of our coaches actually finish their courses. Alrighty guys, what I'm going to do now, I've actually started doing some tutoring. So for example, I've actually set up our 2 goalkeepers to tutor our 2 B team goalkeepers, Stan and Jeffrey there. So they're actually both got tutors now, which is good. Alrighty, for tutoring, for anyone who doesn't know, if you jump into development tutoring here, it's probably the best place to do it from. You can actually go interaction, request tutoring. But this is actually a better place to do it, because you can actually see the personalities and all that kind of stuff of the people that you're going to look at tutoring. So there's 2 options you have when you're tutoring. So if we look at Johnny Heidinger here, he's a spirited personality, there is like sort of a scale from like best to worst. Model professional is generally the best. I mean, none of them are necessarily bad, but obviously some are better than others. Like model professional is brilliant, which means they're obviously, because personalities basically affect the way that they're going to develop a lot of the time. So for youngsters, it's very important to actually get them have them develop the best personality as quickly as possible. So like fairly professional is quite a good one here. So Nathan Later should be okay. Resolute also quite a good one. Balanced here. So Damien Van Bruggen or Bruggen, we probably want his personality to be a little bit better than balanced, although he's 19 years old. So he's only 2.5 star potential. So I'm actually thinking about maybe going for one of these guys. Probably Nathan Later there. So he's the youngest. So. Also, I mean, tutoring gets up to determination as well. Determination's not really as big a stat as a lot of people make it out to be. It doesn't really have an effect in terms of games. It's really sort of an indication of personality a lot of times and stuff like that, an indication of how they'll develop. So there's obviously a lot of hidden stats behind the scene that we actually can't see. That you can get indications of them a lot of the time through coaching reports. For example. What can we see here? Like individual personality, hands on himself, that's fine. If they say things like for example, if we jump into a few different people, you usually get sort of indications of some of their things. For example, like if they struggle to adapt, or for example here, versatility. So if it's versatility, it says like he can only play in one position, so it means their hidden stat. There's a hidden stat of versatility. It basically means that if you move them into sort of positions they're not familiar in, means they're not going to, basically be able to perform as well. So someone who's really versatile can play in lots of different positions and not really have too much of a performance drop. But someone who's not will sort of really suffer if you play them outside their position. So things like that is sort of an indication. So alrighty, so we're probably going to go for Nathan Later here. His personality is alright, but I'm probably going to try and get his determination up a little bit. And also, I'd like him, because we look at his here, he hasn't actually got any preferred moves, whereas Johnny Heidinger has does not dive into tackles, which is a good preferred move. Likes to switch ball to other flankies, a little bit here and there, but... So what we're going to do, there's two options with tutoring. So if we come into here and say ask Heidinger to tutor later, there's two options you actually get here to basically request. The first one is, as a senior member of the squad, I'd like you to tutor Nathan Later, as I feel we can help improve his game. And the second one is, I think it would be beneficial if you were to take Nathan Later under your wing and mentor him off the pitch. Alright, so what do these things mean? The first one, if help you improve his game, means that he has the potential to pick up Johnny Heidinger's preferred moves. The second one means that he's not. So if you want to transfer preferred moves between players, because some preferred moves can only be transferred, you can train preferred moves. You can ask your coaches to actually get people to learn new preferred moves, but some can actually only be transferred or actually transferred through tutoring. So if you do want to get preferred moves transferred into a guy, you have to choose his first one. But if you don't, like if they've got some bad preferred moves or you're happy with what they've got already, go for the second one, and that'll just sort of go for personality. And determination changes and things like that, and like some mental stats and stuff like that. So the top one does the same thing. So that does everything the second one does. The second one just doesn't do the preferred move side of things. So because we do want to transfer over some of them, probably the doesn't dive into tackles one, we're actually going to say, I'd like you to tutor him as you feel you can help improve his game. And he accepts. I think your game will be improved by learning from him, and yep, he's all good. So that's it up. So I'm going to run through our entire senior list here and set up as many tutoring as we possibly can for our youngsters in the first team and the B teams. Yep, and I'll be back in a tick, guys. Hey guys, and we're back. In the end, we didn't actually have that many guys that could actually tutor. Unfortunately, Lasashoni actually refused to tutor, which is a little bit surprising. He's a resolute personality, so he's not as if he's like a bit of a troublemaker. I'm thinking potentially it could have something to do with the fact that he sort of wants to leave, potentially. But yeah, so he sort of refused. Nemanja G, I'm not quite sure. He's 20, I suppose he's 23, isn't he? So I think it's once you hit 24 is when you can start tutoring, so he's a little bit too young. So I actually got a few guys that are basically on the threshold and they can't tutor yet, like for Veltman. Who else? Boylerson is 23. They're all 23. Nemanja G, I think Klaassen. How was Klaassen? 22. Yeah, so the bit of a problem that we've got with Ajax is there are actually not that many sort of senior players in the team. So a lot of our guys are like really quite young and they actually can't sort of tutor. So it's good having people like Heidinger in, would have some good personalities that we can actually tutor with. So that's probably something I have to look at, maybe bringing in the next transfer window, maybe bringing in a few sort of older players with some really good personalities who are not really going to get many game times, if any. And they can just be used for tutoring, so interesting. Yeah, alright. That's cool. Alright, guys, it's PSV game time, so we are going to set up our team. So, Davy Klaassen's injured, which is okay, I guess. Alright, so Silason's going to be our number one. We're going to put Kenny T in, because he needs some game time to fulfill his promise. Vergeva's probably not going to be playing this one, either way he's Riederwald, so we're going to have Heidinger and Veltman as our two centre-backs, as our starting centre-back combination. They seem to be doing fairly well. Nemanja G is going to be our starting defensive mid. Serrero is, yep, he's going to start, even though he's a little bit down on conditioning. Probably the only other person I'd play in there would be Richard Lee Bazaware. And he's not any fitter than Serrero, so that's fine. St. Graven's the same, he's a little bit down on conditioning, but he's probably our best choice there. Lasashoni is going to play out on the right in place of Nuri. We're going to play Victor Fisher on the left, in place of Yunus, and Milik is going to play as our striker. Alrighty, so El Ghazi is going to come in as a sub, and we want Riederwald or Vergeva in. We probably do want one of them, so... but that's right, Boylerson's going to play in for Dykes as well, isn't he, because he's playing the best at the moment. I think what we're going to do, we'll leave Dykes out for this game, bring Vergeva in, because he can play left back and centre back. Same with Riederwald. I'm actually going to bring him in place of Bazaware, because he's a little bit better conditioning. Give Bazaware a rest. He's played a fair few games, so 8 starts, 5 subs, which is fairly Apart from Veltman, he's sort of equal to everybody else. So he's actually started a lot of games for a youngster. He's only 18 years old, so it's getting some improvement here, which is good. So, alright guys, this is our starting team. We're going to run with this and see how we go. Proceed to the stadium, which is good. So we are the favourites, so PSV will probably sit back a little bit. I actually did do a bit of a review of PSV. So they actually play this formation every game. So if we look at this formation, obviously the big feature of this is the two strikers and their midfield. So they've got 4 in midfield, so there's going to outnumber us in midfield and 2 strikers as well. I'm not too worried about the 2 strikers because with our sort of trio of guys here, a trio of defensive guys here, our defensive mid and our 2 centre-backs, I'm not really too worried about the 2 strikers. Obviously they've got 4 in midfield, so they're going to outnumber us in midfield. So how we're going to counter that is what we've sort of done previously, is basically play more narrow, but exploit the flanks, or look for the overlap to make sure our guys. So basically, what it means, I want our guys to be very compact. So we sort of on the defensive where we're very narrow, so they can't really use their numbers in midfield. We'll push them out to the sides, where we're stronger, where we should hopefully have sort of numbers on the flanks. And then when we're attacking, we want to sort of basically exploit the fact that we're going to have numerical superiority on both flanks. So that's going to be our starting game plan, so we'll see how we go. I'm not going to go with any opposition instructions. I usually don't to start the game with, unless I usually see what the assistant manager does here, and then if there's any sort of ones that particularly work for me. I actually don't like the hard tackling, because I find that if you do hard tackling, it can give away a lot of yellow cards, and it can be sort of a bit counterproductive. Closing down's good sometimes, but it does all these things sort of change the way your team plays, which is why a lot of the time I don't really implement them, unless we're sort of playing specific strategies. So for here, I'm not really seeing anything that we should really. Probably Adam Mayer is the only one that potentially we should look at, or it's probably either Adam Mayer, but he should be hopefully, or Mayer, matched up with our defensive mid, because he's obviously attacking mid, so we've got a defensive mid. Probably the one that's going to be running free is Davy Proper here. So we could potentially close him down a little bit more, because he could potentially have a lot of space at the back to actually dictate play. So, but for now, we're just going to clear it. I'm not going to run with anything there. Team talk, I usually go with sort of advice of what the assistant manager does, encourage the players. So just go with passionate and say, go out, or actually no, what are we going to do? Just good luck out there today. Didn't really achieve anything. It's really good actually in this new, in FM16, it's actually got their personality here, which wasn't in there last year. It's just quite really sort of useful when you're doing individual team talks, to actually have those there. I asked our assistant to take the team individuals, he only did one and didn't really achieve anything, so that's fine. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back either partway through the game or the end of the game. Alrighty guys, I'm just going to show you a little bit of a tactical thing here that I've noticed early on in the game. Obviously you can see there, this is there. They've actually just come out from, the keeper got the ball, he's just passed it out to one of his centre-backs here. Big feature that I've noticed here, here's Davy Proper. He is, if you look at their formation up there, he's actually should be sort of a midfield centre player, but he's obviously got the, he's basically got the half-back role, I'm assuming. I'm actually not quite sure whether you actually have the half-back role in that area there. Actually, I'm going to jump into the tactics quickly and have a look. So, one of our guys here, actually don't have the halfback, but I'm wondering if there's a like a player setting or something, player instructions that you can actually have, like move into the back line or something there. So I'm not really quite sure how that's happening. Whether it's I don't think it's a feature of just sort of a coincidence thing. I have noticed it a couple of times. So yeah, he actually drops back into their centre line. So this is their 2 fullbacks, Bruma and Izamat Mirin, and he's actually dropping into their centre back there. So that is quite an interesting feature. Should keep an eye on this, see how it plays out. But yeah, I thought I'd just point that out for now. Alright guys, and we're back. A 2-2 draw with PSV. Fairly happy with that. We definitely did have the best chances of the match. Jump into the stats here quickly. Did dominate possession. We had the most shots on target and all that kind of stuff. So I think we definitely did play the best. But the game, all the goals were scored in the first half, and the game was pretty much characterised, well, in the first half anyway, by poor defending. None of the goals were really sort of high quality in terms of attacking from an attacking sense. It was pretty much just a little bit of rubbish, rubbish defending. So performance disappointing. Yeah, I'm not actually too really. I know we were favourites, so maybe we should go I'm far from pleased. Yeah, that's fair enough. Right, so they reacted well to that. So I'm actually not too personally for me, I'm not too disappointed, but I can understand why. I should actually sort of get into them a little bit. We were favourites. It was at home. We actually didn't. Defending wasn't great for the first half. It was better in the second half. So I'm not really going to bother showing the goals. It's not really all that interesting. The goals didn't really show you any massive things. So worked out pretty well for us. We're still on top on goal difference. So we got 16 goal difference, which is good. PSV actually dropped down a few spots. So yeah, so that was pretty good. So fairly happy with that. AC Milan lost there. PSV hold out for a draw. Sinkgraven got injured 3 to 4 months. Damn it. Damaged Achilles tendon. That's going to be a big loss for us. He was playing really quite well, and Davy Claessen's been a little bit weak in terms of injuries. He's been getting quite a few of those. So 3 to 4 months is a bit of a blow, but there's nothing we can do about it. So speak about injury. What's this? Don't worry about injury. I know these things can be frustrating, but try to focus on the recovery. Thanks for all the support. Appreciated. Cool. Oh, that's a nice little feature. That wasn't in there in the last version, so it's quite good. Fisher did play well. Fisher's actually been having a really good run of form, so getting some good development here as well, which is, you see all these attributes and stuff coming up there. So that is really quite pleasing. He's been doing really well. Alrighty guys, so what's our next game? We've got a game against Heracles in 13 days. So what I think I'm going to do, it must be an international break. So I think I'm going to run through to the next game, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Alright, and we're back. It's game day against Heracles, which will be good in the Eredivisie. And then in another 4 days, we've got an away game against Wolfsburg in the Champions League. So we're going to play a little bit of a weakened team, or I'll pick a team that with keeping in mind that we do have a game against Wolfsburg, which is probably the more important fixture out of the two. So absolutely nothing interesting happened between those 13 days difference. It was just the international break. A few of our guys played, a few of them didn't. A few of our guys actually need rests, which is a little bit disappointing because they did play in international. So for the under-21s, both Kenny T and Richard Lee both played for the under-21s. So they're going to be given a rest for this match, and we'll get them ready for the Wolfsburg game. So we're going to jump into this one. So we are favourites for this match, even though it's an away game. The pitch is good, the weather's fine. They're playing a pretty stock standard formation. I've had a look at their goals, done a bit of analysis on their goals and all that kind of stuff. Nothing really jumps out at me. They're not don't seem to have any sort of really massively defined style, and none of their players are particularly dangerous. So I'm just going to pick sort of a stock standard team. I'm not going to change any of our tactics or anything like that just for them. So what have we got here? What are we going to do? I'm just going to give Diedrich Boer a go. Give him a run out and make sure his sharpness stays up, and give Silerson a bit of a rest. Van Ryn's going to come in at right back. Who else have we got here? So I'm going to look at basically anyone who needs a bit of match sharpness. We're going to put them in. So David Claessen's going to fill in at that role there, which is good. Vergeva's going to be given a role, probably at centre back actually. Maybe not. Maybe we'll give him a run as the defensive mid. Maybe we'll give Nemanja G. We'll give Nemanja G a go because he's actually down to 81%. Dykes is going to be given a run at left back because Boylerson is down on conditioning. Serrero, nah. May put Reedwood on at half time for Serrero, but for the moment we'll leave that there. Eunice is, I think, I'm not really sure what we're going to do with him. I think we may give Milik. He's got really good conditioning, and Elgas is only down at 92%, so he's sort of our backup striker. So I think we'll give Milik a run in this game. Maybe replace him at half time to make sure he's fresh for the Wolfsburg game, but we'll probably start him there. Now he's only at 87%, so we may give Victor Fisher, although he's at 100% conditioning there. So what we may do, our 3 subs may be Serrero, Fisher, and Milik at sort of, maybe at half-time or the 60-minute mark, depending how we go. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll bring Bolus on as our last sub, and that's going to be our team. That should be pretty good. Everyone's pretty fit, and that should be fairly good. So I'm going to jump into the team. What are we going to do, guys? We're going to play this game. Hopefully nothing too happens, and then actually plot a playthrough until game day for the Wolfsburg game, and then we'll jump in and do a little bit of analysis for them and see what we can do, given that it is an away game. So yeah, that should be good. I'll see you all soon, guys. And we're back, guys. A very, very scrappy 3-2 win over Heracles. Didn't play our best in any way, shape or form. Had to make a few tweaks sort of midway through the second half tactically to mean that we actually end up getting the win. So what we actually did was halfway through, because we were playing the same formation, but they were actually sort of doing a little bit better with us in terms of possession. They were playing very, very narrow. And sort of basically sort of blocking out the midfield, and we couldn't really penetrate them, and we had a few bad defensive lapses at the back. Our defenders didn't have their best game. Mitchell Dykes, especially on the left, had a bit of a mare. So yeah, what we did actually in terms of tactics, just jumped in here and actually sort of dropped our width down a little bit, and actually had exploit the flanks. just to basically sort of funnel some play down that side, or down both sides, and sort of make ourselves a little bit narrow and exploit the fact that they were playing very, very narrow. And that's what ended up what got us the victory. I'm not going to show you all of the highlights here. I'm actually just going to show you the last goal, if I can find it. So it did come with a throw-in. Should turn the sound off. Yeah, so it was very good play. So individual play by Shoney here. You can actually see they didn't really sort of defend very well. Shoney picked up some really good space there. Veltman just tucks into him, and he just bangs it in the back of the corner there. So that was really, really good. Actually, I think it was our first goal was like ping pong with Milik. If that was it, this was it, I think. This is a little bit of an indication of pretty much how our tactic works, by the way. So we're just going to have a look at this a little bit more in detail. So goalkeeper passes out. We get our guys knock it forward. Fisher comes through, Serrero. It's all pretty stock standard play at the moment. You actually see something developing out here on the right. Saif there is their left attacking midfielder guy, and obviously we've got their fullback here in Gosens there. This is what happens here. Because our wing backs are quite attacking. Ball out to Shoney there. Saif is sort of basically taken out of play by that big long ball. He's not really defending very well. He hasn't tracked the run of Van Rijn. Van Rijn gets through. We knock a really good ball through like that, and now he's through. And now we get into space, pull out their guys in, all everywhere, and basically a little bit of ping pong there. Have a few shots, and then Milik eventually tucks it away. So that was a really good goal there. So that's a bit of an indication, a bit of a sign about what you can actually look for in the game. So that was what I sort of tried to exploit for the rest of the game, was sort of these overlaps, the fact that their attacking midfielders weren't really defending all that well. So we got there, and then we had sort of basically about same amount of shots, but we had more on target, and we shaded possession as well. So it was a good win. We got the win, which is pretty much all that matters. We're actually sitting, Vitesse has still actually got a game in hand, but we are sitting top at the moment, so that is good. Pretty stock standard win there. Alrighty guys, we did actually lose Van Rijn to an injury, which is a little bit disappointing. 4 to 5 weeks, so we've actually got a few fairly lengthy injuries, which is a bit disappointing. Riedewald, so actually says he could do with a rest. I'm going to ask him to see if he needs a rest for the next game, and he said he'd feel fine, alright, so no rest. So he didn't actually play that much of the last match, only sort of 20 minutes or so hopefully he should be fine by the terms of the next match. Actually, we're only 31 minutes of the episode, guys. I think what we can do, actually probably put a pause in the video here, and we'll jump back into the next episode. And the first thing we'll get stuck into is our game against Wolfsburg. So he's coming up fairly soon in the Champions League. It should be quite an interesting game. So hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Hope you enjoyed this series, and let me know any feedback and all that kind of stuff if you have any. Always keen to read comments, so highly encourage you to do that. As always, it would be great if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't done so already. That would be enormously, enormously appreciated. Alright guys, hope you've all had a wonderful day wherever you're watching from, and I'll see you all for the next episode.